Welcome back, and we're moving into a third conversation for today, where we talk to representatives of the Welcome Resource Center in Belize as they celebrate their 4th year of service. We have with us the administrator, Joyce Ellis, and we have the chairperson of the Board of Trustees, Kathy Esquivel. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Now, ladies, I cannot believe it's been 4 years already. But I can recall the very initial conversations with the Mental Health Association when you wanted to get this building and this service in place. So let's step back to the origins of the Welcome Resource Center.
Okay, well, I suppose I could speak to that.
Yeah.
The Mental Health Association is really proud to be associated with the Ministry of Health and their whole emphasis on community mental health.
Yeah.
We've worked closely with them, and we think that although there's always more that can be done, we really like the way that they have things organized. The idea is to keep people out of institutions as far as possible. And so we work with them, and we recognize that one of the things that was missing, they had all the medical support, but one of the things that was missing was social support. So a lot of people, yeah, they'd take their meds, but then they didn't have anywhere to stay, they didn't have anything to eat, they didn't have anywhere to hang out. And so the idea was, as a pilot project, to show that if you can put that, it's like a three-legged stool, and so one leg is the meds, but we wanted to put that other leg, which was the social support. So we worked hard, and we were lucky to get a grant from Social Investment to put up a building. And if you go to the end of Vernon and to Bruce Street, you'll see it's still there, very pretty, still looking really nice.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we were able to open our doors July 8th, 2013.
And still going 4 years later.
Yes.
Now, the population that you serve, I think, is one that perhaps we really do not pay attention to. They kind of go on, I wouldn't say unrecognized, but
under the radar.
Yeah, under the radar. That's good, because when there's an issue, people will recognize them. So you're talking about people who are homeless, who are suffering from some kind of mental health issue, right? Joyce, tell us a bit about you call them participants, right? So you'll explain why you call them participants, and tell us a bit about some of the challenges that they face.
The reason why they are participants, because the center belongs to them.
Yeah.
So they help us in keeping our center up, keeping it clean. Besides that, we don't offer medication. It's a service that we offer. That's hence the reason why they are participants.
Yeah.
Some of their challenges are, yes, they have the mental issue, but you also have the ones who have the drug issue, and mental addiction is also a part of mental illness. The family support is a challenge for them also, and society on a whole look at them different and tend to shun them away and even be violent with them.
Yeah. Now, how do the participants find out about the center?
They know.
In the initial stage, myself and Miss Mariano, the assistant, we had made our rounds the week before the center officially opened. And so we went downtown and we told them about the center and that we would have a bus coming. At that time, we had a bus that would pick them up and take them to the center.
Yeah.
The bus was becoming costly for us. We couldn't afford it anymore, so we had to left the bus. But they didn't leave us. They still come.
They still found a way to come. Kathy,
I want Joyce to tell the story of the first morning when they pick people up.
The first time we picked them up, the bus, because they had this idea that they were going to the prison, because someone had said to them that they'll pick them up and take them to prison. So we were coming up Vernon Street, and this guy was like, "Where are we going? Where are we going?" And we said, "We're not at the center." And of course, it's going towards the highway.
Yeah.
Hatfield, Chairperson highway. And well, I want to come out there, and I go like, but you can't come out there. You just need to relax. And the busman can't stop. So what happened? We can't come out. We can't come out. And so they started to get annoyed because they thought that they were going somewhere that
they were going to be institutionalized.
Yes.
Yeah.
And had to stop, and then we put off like 3 or 4 of them because they wanted to come out. But the following day, they were on the bus again because they saw their parents coming.
Because their friends told them,
yes,
you can play games, watch TV, and get food.
So they were
bath, change your clothes.
Yeah, you know, I've had the opportunity to be at the Welcome Resource Center a couple times, and I think that's one of the things that people would be most surprised by, how clean it is and how much these people look forward to just taking a shower and putting on clean clothes.
Yeah.
Now, Kathy, let's talk about, you know, we look at our homeless population and people are very judgmental at times, and we don't understand the challenges that they face, the mental health issues that they may be battling, or the addictions that they may be battling.
Which is a mental health.
Which isn't, yeah. So, you know, as a part of the Mental Health Association, as the chairperson for the Resource Center, you know, what has it been like trying to get people to come on board to support this particular population?
Well, it's always difficult because, as you have pointed out, and we have, our participants aren't necessarily cute. And there's always a feeling with mental health issues that it's somehow a choice. That if you would only have the willpower, you could not have whatever condition it is you have. So that's something that we have to battle, that it's not a choice. Although we do have to help people to make healthy choices, mental health is not a choice. You don't choose to be ill. But somehow in the back of people's mind, just to act crazy, you know, just to play crazy. And so I know when we first opened, there were some people in the neighborhood that, we know aren't them kind of people around us. But now they recognize that actually it uplifts the neighborhood because it's such a pretty building, it's kept nicely, there's never any difficulties. And we now have a commercial laundry. So some people in the neighborhood use our commercial laundry. It's $5 to wash, $5 to dry.
Get a little ad in there.
Yeah, we get more traffic in when it's raining. But just coming on and interacting with people, I think once you begin to see people as individuals and not with a label, I think that in itself is important.
Now, Joyce, you are the administrator at the Welcome Resource Center, and that means you have a daily interaction with your participants, and you get to find out more about their stories and the challenges that they face in the wider community. Tell us a bit about what they come there and share with you.
Some of them would come and share. For example, some of them have no kids, so it's just themselves, and probably a niece or a nephew and things like that. While others had kids, for the most part the males, they had kids, and they would say like, I had like 5 or 10 children and 7 different baby mothers and things like that. And the interesting thing, Marlene, is that when we get volunteers, especially the males, they sit and they talk to them, and they would tell them their stories, and they'll tell them, you know what, don't fall in this trap, because you know what, the females will be taken care of, but us, we're left alone. So besides their situation, they share and they give life lessons to the people who come to share with them.
We do have some young people from a few schools that come to do community service, volunteer, and I think that's good for them as well. And so we have a few schools that, as part of their community service, they could choose. Now, when they first come, they're a little bit hesitant and a little bit wary. But after they've been there for a little while and they realize that, you know, it's okay. In fact, sometimes it's good because then their parents will hear about it and when they're cleaning out their closet, they'll bring clothes
Yeah.
or send canned food or whatever.
Also too that when it comes to the children who come and do community service, the students, they look at the population different because they used to shun them away when they see them in town and run away from them, and they could identify the ones that would always be out there begging.
Yeah.
And so when they see them, they hail them. And these participants never approach them to beg.
Yeah.
They give them that hail. Beside the volunteers from the schools, we have partnered with the Coast Guard. Since, well, they started yesterday, they did our yard cleaning. And so beside the schools, we have other institutions that would come on board.
One of the things we're finding that especially more and more, a lot of our participants are deportees. And very often these are people who have been sent back to Belize, but they've spent their whole life somewhere else. They don't have any family in Belize, maybe a distant cousin, there's no family property, they have no real ties, except that they're navel string buried here. And so often these are people, they get caught up in, we're not talking about hardened criminals. They might have been pulled over for minor offenses. But more and more, and it's going to increase because of a different attitude. And these are people that you can't even try to, because we also try to get families more involved where possible and try to bridge some of the gaps, but these people have no family in Belize.
No, that's interesting because it is a drop-in center. That's one of the things we have to be very clear about. One, they're not mandated to go there.
Absolutely
and
not.
two, they don't sleep there.
No.
And so that means that the population that you serve kind of just come in to spend the daytime, and then on the nights they wander off to their own areas. Is there an issue in terms of safety? We remember, there have been homeless persons who've been murdered, there have been homeless persons who've been raped. Is there an issue in terms of safety for this population?
For us, yes, there is an issue. Beside the incident that just went with Indira, we also had one of our participants who is like affixed at the center. He used to sleep under the bridge there at Belican, and then he came to us the Monday and he wasn't walking well, and we asked what had happened, and some guys went under the bridge and just stabbed him up in the leg, and so he got stitches and all of that. So we had get him into the Salvation Army home, so he's there now, but we do have issues of safety for them. Whenever we hear about anyone mentally ill or homeless that get hurt, I mean, the alert is out there, we get up, we go and we look, and we ask them, have you seen so and so? And so it's really, during the weekend, it's really tough for us as a staff. We worry a lot about them.
Now, and this is part of the vulnerability of not having a place where you call home.
Some people have, I mean, they're homeless in that they don't have a home, but they might have somewhere to sleep, which is a little bit different. Sometimes they sleep in a downstairs room in a distant relative, and so not everyone who we would call homeless is actually sleeping on the street. We also have people that are at the Salvation Army, but during the day they come over. But there is a problem with adequate places for people to sleep, but you know what, we can't do everything. So we try to do what we can, but we're not saying that we wouldn't want someone else to try to do something else.
No, and it actually fills the gap, because where the residential, some of the residential places don't offer daytime activities. That's where you come in. No.
And we have a few people that they have families, and families who do look after them, but they like for them to come over in the day, and they even pay something towards the upkeep, you know, that they want their relative to go over. So, because it gives them something to do, people to interact with. So we're also inviting, if you have a family member that you think would benefit from having somewhere to come.
Socializing.
Just to socialize, they're very welcome.
Even as volunteers.
As volunteers or as participants. Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you, because it has been a part of the conversation in Belize for some time. You know, every now and again, there's an increase in how we speak about it, but about the need to institutionalize persons who live on the streets. And, you know, the Mental Health Association has spoken very openly about this. And I want to ask, what has been your level of engagement when this issue arises? And what do you tell people about the pros and cons of putting people who live on the street within a fixed residential area?
We lobby. We did lobby very hard. And there's lots of issues. One is, if you're talking about locking people up, which is what it is, it's for life. So if you're going to take a 30-year-old, you're committed to having that person in an institution for maybe 40 years, maybe more. It's an extremely expensive way. Apart from not being good for the person, it's really expensive. And there was this kind of attitude, oh, we'll take these people, we'll clean them up, and then we'll send them back. No, these people have issues beyond that. So if you put them in an institution, clean them up, whatever, send them out, 6 months later they'll be back again. So it is not a long-term solution. There are a few people who are a danger to themselves and others who must be removed from the street. Nobody's arguing. But the majority of people just need a little help to live like people.
Joyce, you were saying, you were shaking your head the whole while I asked the question, like, don't take my participants away.
I mean, Marlene, the thing is that to lock them up, for me, for example, we do have participants that has to be on medication. These are the ones who they would want to lock up. But when these people are on medication, I mean, they are the best ever person to have conversation with. And sometimes even when they're not on medication, they would say things, but when we discuss it afterwards with them, they would say, lunch chup in the side of the talk, things like that. So, you know, to lock them up, they won't have this kind of support, someone talking to them, bringing them back to reality and things like that. So
now let's talk about the needs of the resource center. I joked with you during the break, and I know it to be the truth, that raising money for this population is for mental health issues, for adults, for predominantly male, for people who are battling addiction, which is a form of a mental health illness. It isn't as easy to sell as perhaps talking about children. But you have been making some strides. So let's talk about where the needs are, who's been supporting you, and what you could really ask people who are watching to do to help out the center.
Well, one thing we'd really like help with, on a volunteer basis, we need help with marketing. So if you have any marketing people who really know how to, we have a really nice video that we'd like to set up and send to Belizeans abroad, but we need a mechanism whereby when people want to give, there's an easy way to do it. If there's anyone out there that knows how to do these things, that can guide us, because we've been struggling with it, but it's not something that is our main field. And most of us are volunteers. We just have the 5 paid personnel. So that's something, and you can even do it from home. You don't even have to come in, but we want
like
you to
online
come.
donations from like the diaspora.
That's one thing in particular. We did get some help with our with our IT work, but we always need help with IT. We did get someone that we really have to thank that came in and did a pro bono audit, but we still need someone. We can do our own little accounting, but if anyone can offer to do a pro bono audit or very, very reduced price audit, because you know, if you spend $2,000 on an audit, that's like 2,000 dinners you can't serve. So it's hard to spend the little money you have on things like that. So those are two things. We always need clothes, especially male clothes. We welcome volunteers. We welcome cash. We welcome canned foods. Anything that people, but the two main things is, well, not two, but if anyone can volunteer expertise in marketing, IT, and accounting, we'd really like that.
And then the in-kind donations, you're looking at food and you're looking at clothing. Currently, you do make some income from your laundromat as well?
We do, but that's income generation. That's not going to keep the center going, but our participants work in the laundry, they fold clothes, and they earn something. And we do have a recycling program. Coke and Fanta bottles and aluminium. So if you have some, we can even come and pick it up. But that doesn't raise money for the center. That's things that, and we'd like to expand our income generation.
It's for the participants.
For the participants. So if anyone has any particular expertise in crafts and would like to volunteer to come in or to teach our staff, then that would also be good.
Now it brings up the larger conversation of our tolerance and or respect and appreciation for persons who are battling mental health issues. Kathy and Joyce, tell us a bit about what you would want the public to know about the people who access the center, or in general, people who are living with and coping with their mental health illness.
I must say, Marlene, invite them to come over, spend an hour, 45 minutes with our participants. I am sure their perspective of people with mental illness will change, because when they're there, it's no different from being in a room of students or at probably a restaurant and people eating and just people having fun.
There's our center.
And Kathy?
I think it's just part of recognizing that everybody is a human being, everybody is an individual. Some people, it's true, have made unfortunate choices in their lives, if it was a choice. Sometimes it's not a choice. But you can't write people off. And so we want to treat people with dignity. And we find the more you treat people with dignity, the more they respond in a dignified way.
Okay. And how will you be celebrating your 4th anniversary?
Karaoke.
That's one of their favorite activities.
That is definitely.
Karaoke, and
that's in the afternoon.
In the afternoon, we also do the bingo. But for this particular Friday, for weeks now, you have, because the staff played the bingo also with them, and then you give the prize to a person of your choice, or probably the person who haven't win anything. We have a particular rivalry between one attendant, a cook, and a participant. I mean, Marlene, I would like for one of these times you to come over. It's so much fun. The things that they say when it comes to luck, like on Friday they'll talk about, oh well, they need to go get their garlic, their grave dust, just things to keep, keep this rivalry, positive rivalry going on, and that probably they won't sit facing the kitchen because they don't want to see the cook, because that would...
That sounds serious competition.
Yes, and so this Friday now we will have this big bingo game for them to square off this rivalry with
So if anyone has any little gifts, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. You could bring it over,
particularly like
personal items.
items.
It
Like
could,
hygiene stuff?
Yes.
Or, yeah, okay.
it could be hygiene stuff. It could be a perfume. I mean, even if you want to bring chocolate,
Yeah.
biscuit, whatever snack items, things that they don't have to cook,
Okay.
Yeah.
work well.
All right.
And then in the morning, we're going to have
our
a little
ceremony.
ceremony, and we have Minister Anthony Boots Martinez will be our guest speaker, because human development does support, and
Yeah.
so does Ministry of Health.
Yeah.
But it's never enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and once again, it's located.
Corner of Vernon and Tibroux Street, a pretty large green. There it is,
Yeah.
the green building.
Yeah. And people can always drop in and drop off any kind of donations that that you spoke about earlier.
And they could call us at 202-2511 or send us an email at mentalhealthresourcecenter@gmail.com. Visit our Facebook page. We also have a website, and you could interact with us via social media.
Okay.
So I'd like to thank all the people who have helped to keep us open this far, and encourage people to continue.
Definitely so. You never know if it could be your family member or you or somebody that you care for that might need to access the services. So it's always a good idea to be able to donate. And once again, it can be monetary donation, it can be clothing, food, or even gift ideas, and you're in particular need of accounting, IT, and marketing experience.
Absolutely.
Expertise, I should say. It's not full-time, it's to be able to help you with specific
Point
activities.
us in the right direction.
All right, and you also welcome volunteers.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining me this morning, and best of luck and congratulations on your 4th anniversary.
Thank you.
Thank
too.
you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take our final break. When we come back, we'll have our wrap up, so stay tuned.